Hi, this is Tim Rose, who played Admiral Akbar in Return of the Jedi, and I'd just like to say, do not listen to Droids Canada podcast. It's a trap!
His eardrums were scientifically altered for world peace. His ears are more finely tuned than yours or mine. He can listen to a podcast from a mile away. He is the most dedicated podcast fan in the world. I do not always listen to podcasts, but when I do, I prefer the Tangent-Bound Network. Keep listening, my friends.
This podcast is a proud member of the Points of Interest Podcast Network. Visit us today at poipodcast.com.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
DroidsCanada.com presents. Oh my God! It's time to fight podcast. Listener discretion is advised. Hi folks, I am Matthew Terry. This is It's Time to Fight podcast. Thank you so much for pushing that play button. I say it every single goddamn week. I am not tired of saying it yet. I appreciate every single click that play button gets for this podcast because, of course, it means that you're listening to what I have to say, and if you want to know what I have to say, I appreciate that. Okay, I've gone a little long-winded.
Yeah, you really were, like, giving them... You weren't even giving them the tip. You were giving the whole thing. Good for you.
I was taking it. I wasn't giving it. I was taking it.
Oh, yeah, you got to... You want me to read
no, that's right.
You want to read the card?
That's right. Last week we started this. I got to do this.
All right. Do it.
You can find our award-nominated podcasts on. I should have read this before.
I should just write this out for you.
You should just write this on or write this out. Tangent. What's Tangent?
Tangent-Bound Network.
Tangent-Bound Network. We are available on iTunes, Podcast Addict. We are on Stitcher. We're not on SoundCloud anymore.
That's right.
We're on Podbean.
That's right.
You see?
There, yay!
I know. Google Play, Laughable, EMC, which is Electronic Media Collective.
Yay!
Points of Interest. You can find us on Facebook at Droids Canada. You can find us on Twitter at Droids Canada, oddly enough.
Wait a minute.
And you can find us on Instagram at the Droids Canada, the underscore Droids Canada. Or you can just contact us. You can find us on droidscanada.com.
Mm-hmm. Where can you find It's Time to Fight social media?
You can find me. You can find it on Facebook. It's Time to Fight. You can find it on Twitter. It's Time to Fight 1, because unfortunately I was not the first person to fight it, obviously.
God damn it.
I'm not surprised. I don't have Instagram.
You don't have Instagram?
I don't have Instagram.
Well, I mean, it's not for everybody. Do you have Snapchat?
No.
That's
Once
good.
I found out what Snapchat was.
You're just like, it's just dick pics and dog faces.
Well, basically, because I got into Snapchat not long after Snapchat was a thing.
Became Snapchat.
And who asked me about Snapchat? Somebody said, you should get Snapchat. And I said, well, what the hell is Snapchat?
Snap it.
So somebody told me what Snapchat was. I'm like, that's stupid.
It is stupid.
It is stupid. And then somebody told me that Snapchat was established as like a sexting thing. Like you send dick pics to each other.
Absolutely.
And then they just disappear. That now I remember. It was my niece who said, you should get on Snapchat. And then somebody tells me, so people can send dick pics and pics of their tits.
That was me.
Maybe.
That was probably me.
It was probably you.
Yeah, it probably was.
The whole purpose
behind it...
I don't
use Snapchat, people.
The whole purpose behind it was so that people could send dick pics and pictures of their tits and
whatever. Hey man, whatever works.
And then it just disappears. And then I start, what the fuck is my niece doing on Snapchat? But I never questioned it.
You know, people don't understand that you can just take a screenshot during this, so...
Yeah, I know.
It'll disappear in 10 seconds. That's all I need. Click.
Anyway, so are we on Snapchat too?
No.
We're not on Snapchat?
I refuse to use Snapchat.
You refuse to use Snapchat?
I actually installed it. I don't understand it, and I uninstalled it. It was that quick. I don't understand the concept, maybe because it's not our generation that, I guess, in our 20s doing this type of thing or whatever. We're getting old, Matt. So
I know.
The fact that we're on Instagram is a bloody miracle, so we'll take that.
Yeah. No, I stopped using Snapchat when a friend of mine accidentally hit group rather than individual.
Oh, what'd you get?
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't a dick pic.
Oh, well, I got a small victory.
Yeah, but it was him in a kind of a compromising thing. He was just trying to share with a friend.
Pulled a Seth Rollins.
No. There was no nudity, but it was a compromising position that he was just trying to share with.
I don't want to know.
One friend.
Don't want to know.
Ended up sharing it with over 50,
including his mom.
No, not well. I don't know.
That would have been.
I should ask him.
That'd be great for Thanksgiving dinner. So
I got this picture for 10 seconds.
Why were you doing that to that elephant?
Yeah,
I guess you do anything for wood nickels, I suppose.
Are you allowed to go back to Safari Niagara?
Probably not.
So, should we talk wrestling?
It's your show, man. I'm just here for shits and giggles.
Okay, well, obviously this is a wrestling podcast. We got some stuff to talk about.
We have some.
Yeah, we got some. First off, this past Sunday, Alpha One Wrestling was in Oshawa, new venue. Unfortunately, I can't remember what the new venue is. Awesome looking venue. Just a huge venue. And I was worried. Because when the doors opened, it kind of filled up slowly. And I was like, oh, shit. And then filled out nicely. And
was it a sellout or close to?
I think it was close to a sellout.
Do you have a number?
Not a sellout, I don't have a number. No.
Oh.
You know what? I don't.
I would be shocked that it was not sold out, mainly because Cody Rhodes, Colt Cabana were on that card alone, and that just makes me want to go. I like Ethan Page. We know I like Ethan Page, but in comparison to Ethan, Cody, and then Colt, who is like one of the biggest indie darlings out there, to come to a show is pretty amazing.
Well, Cody, yes. Colt has done a lot of promotions in Southern Ontario, Oshawa, Toronto, Kingston, including Hamilton. He's been to Hamilton a few times with us. So, Cody, yes, but I didn't know if there was enough people who didn't make the trip from Toronto down to Hamilton to see him once. Like, there are people, obviously, that would come and see. You wanted to come see him again.
Absolutely.
And that would have been your third time. Okay. He does have that drawing. But there would be a lot of people that just, I saw him once, I got my autograph, I got this. So I didn't know. I didn't know if it was basically Cody's draw. To me, anyway.
Right.
Not to say that Colt...
I'm sure Colt headlined it. Still would have been a good draw.
Well, Colt was in the opener.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was an easy day.
No. Him and Kobe put on a great match.
Oh, that's right. Did Kobe finally lose?
No, Kobe.
God, that guy's such a bitch.
I know.
He plays the perfect bitch, and you know he's a good wrestler. And if he ever listens to this show, I hope he doesn't take it offensively.
Oh, he listens.
Does he really? Yeah. Kobe, you're a bitch. Yeah. But he plays a good heel character, though. He makes you want to hate him. He has that face of, I want to slap the shit out of you just because of your face alone. But I'm very happy that the Alpha One show turned out well. But I did see the card coming up in November. There's a certain person on that card that I'm very interested in seeing. But I'm kind of worried about him in one way, and that would be Keith Lee.
Okay.
I love Keith Lee. I think he's a great... For his size and what he can do is amazing.
Yeah.
But my gripe, as an AJ hears about it all the time, is that I think he's dangerous. Because when he does a lot of his suplexes, he doesn't follow through with the suplex. He just tosses the fucking guy. And I get that, like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you see some of those German suplexes that Kurt Angle does, or even Brock Lesnar. Well, Brock Lesnar kind of lazy about it now. But some of them, you're just like, oh my God. He just like, fuck, oh, he'll land eventually when he gets there, you know?
Well, as long as they're throwing him high enough, I'm not trying to...
he does.
Throw him up high enough, and then it's up to the other guy. It's up to the other guy's bump. As long as you're giving him the air, it's...
When he did... Oh, by the way, there should be a podcast now we should do. We'll eventually have a copy of Bola.
Yeah.
Because I know AJ's fishing the interwebs not right now, but he's all over Bola, and we typically watch Bola. We watch the shit out of Bola.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Keith Lee's on that card. He always is on that card. But I remember watching him do a standing C4. I'm like, holy shit, this guy is like 6 foot, whatever, 400 pounds. He does a standing C4. He did it with Trevor Lee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god. But I really want to see Keith Lee because there's one match he did with Leo Rush.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that match.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Safe to say, Leo Rush died. That was the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
He basically did a splash off the top turnbuckle onto Leo Rush.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Leo Rush went 2 feet into the mat.
Well, I'll have to look that one up. Now, did you notice who was added to November 26th?
No, I have not.
You didn't?
No.
He was added yesterday.
Oh, no, then I don't know.
Cody's coming back.
Yeah! Fuck yeah!
Ethan and Cody retained the tag team titles.
The 2 stars?
Yeah, 2 stars retained over...
It's funny because when I was at the one show, I swear they were chanting 2 sluts. I don't know why.
No, it could have been. It could have been.
I was like, well, Ethan...
kind of like, you and
Cody, no.
You and I have talked about it before, where, people chant to me, they're just like, Barry, and it's all inside joke. There is a lot of it. Alpha One does have a lot of people that do their chants and everything, but there's a lot of them. They're just like the inside jokes, the inside stabs. So maybe that was a let's try this one out. The two sluts, and then probably I don't think
AJ, I'm like, I think they're chanting 2 sluts, and he's like, go with it. So we're just chanting 2 sluts.
Now, what if they weren't saying 2 sluts?
I don't know.
Now everybody's looking at you, going, "Why are you calling them 2 sluts?"
See, here's the thing, though. You're not near us when we're watching the show. You would be irritated. Completely irritated.
I get irritated enough sometimes.
Because we do our own commentary. Okay? And at the NXT show, there was a lady in front of us. And I can't remember who it was. I want to say Aleister Black and what's the other guy's name?
Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
You do this every single time.
I always forget his fucking name. And he gave him a super kick. And it was a nasty super kick. And I was like, super kick! And they just like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, listen, I'm here to have fun.
Yeah.
And then we also got the crowd chanting other guy because we couldn't remember the guy's name that was in the triple threat match. But anyways, totally kiboshed at least 5 minutes of your show.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine.
But now I will tell you a quick story.
Oh, there's a story time!
A quick story. My brother brought me to a WWE, WWF show, whatever, when I was, 9 or 10 years old. And I think I've mentioned before where when my brother brought me, he would like, Matt, who's the bad guy? And I would tell him, and he'd cheer for the bad guy.
Yeah, sure.
This has nothing to do with that. But my brother brings me to the wrestling show, and there's these 2, we're in the second row. And there are these 2 larger men? No, white trash women behind us. And they look like they're wearing their nightgowns. And
that was me not trying to puke.
Yeah. Do you remember Jim Powers?
No.
Okay. Jim Powers is a late 80s, maybe early 90s guy.
Okay.
Kind of that guy that was kind of on the cusp. He was generally a jobber guy.
Okay.
But they gave him a win here and there. It's kind of
just to make sure he's happy.
Yeah, kind of thing. And he was probably facing, Brooklyn Brawler or something.
You have to win against the Brawler.
And he comes running down the aisle, and I hear one of these ladies behind me, "Woo-wee! Look at that piece of beef!" Yeah. And at 10 years old, that was the funniest shit.
God.
So,
wow.
I'm sure they thought worse. I'm sure they thought, the things I'd do with that meat, I'd eat that.
So here's one thing I want to bring up.
Okay.
We've learned 100%. I'm not kidding. Drawing this out. Vince McMahon is a vindictive person. How do I know?
How do you know?
The last show, what did we say? You can't cease and desist, blah, blah, blah. We're like, well, they still have the Too Sweet. Challenge accepted. Not even the day after, the couple days after we recorded the show, Young Bucks served Too Sweet. Cease and desist after they invaded on Raw. Like, what the fuck? But here's the best part, is that you cannot trademark a hand signal. You can trademark.
You can in the States. You can't in Canada.
But that's the big argument right now, because or any type of symbol, because look what happened to Gene Simmons when he tried copywriting the money bag.
Yep.
Like, he had problems with that.
And the demon.
Yep. And then you had Trump trying to copyright the words "you're fired."
Yep.
So
because they're commonplace, I think it's called.
But I mean, too sweet. Like, why now? Because the Young Bucks have been around for 5, 6, 7, 8 years doing the Too Sweet, which I always took as a homage to the NWO DX days, which, if anything, I'd be saying, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I made that much of an impact. Maybe he may not like the Young Bucks. Fine. I didn't like the Young Bucks at the beginning.
On face value, I think Triple H likes the Young Bucks. I don't know if Vince McMahon is so privy that, they're using this hand gesture? But I think somewhere, someone, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's...
I'm a lawyer.
I don't know who it is, but somebody got their panties in a bunch.
Wouldn't happen to do with that Raw invasion at all, would it?
Well, that's what I mean. Okay? They did the Raw invasion. And you know what? I bet you anything, Vince McMahon probably doesn't even know a damn thing about it.
There's a funny thing about that, is that Eric Bischoff's podcast last week talked about the Raw invasion. Mm-hmm. And he brought up, he said, you know what? Vinnie Mac fucked up. He should have let him in. If they wanted to come in during the show, he should have let him come in. He makes the money.
Oh, yeah.
Because then everyone's like, holy shit, the Bullet Club's on Raw? Mm-hmm. Vince can go, I plead the fifth. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Whereas the Young Bucks getting shit from Ring of Honor and New Japan because, like, what are you doing on Raw? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they get in trouble. So he gets to played ignorance, I guess I would say. And that's what Eric Bischoff said. He goes, the biggest regret he had in his life was not letting DX in the building during the show. So he should have probably let him in.
Because it wasn't that long after that he challenged Vince McMahon. And he told everybody in the dog, if he shows up, let him in.
Yeah, let him. Well, if he beats the shit out of me, it's great press.
Yeah, put him in that locker room. Whatever he wants, he gets. I don't want to see him until he comes to the ring. And it wasn't long after, and probably because he had the regrets. Right. And it's just, if Vince McMahon shows up on my fucking show. But that story in itself is why I don't think Vince McMahon, because that story, I can't remember who it was, said, you know what? Vince may have heard about it.
Yeah.
He didn't give two shits about it. He probably just laughed it off like, ha, ha, ha.
Well, that was during I think it was right after the turn, or was it right before the turn of the ratings? I don't recall. Because that was at NWO, WCW Uncensored is when they were doing that call out during the pay-per-view.
I think that was just after.
And Eric Bischoff is such a smart guy. I don't think highly of him personally. He did a lot of shady things when he ran WCW, but he did things that made sense. Going on early, coming back early, and stuff like that. But I think that creative for WWE, which is an ongoing topic for the last 3 weeks now, is at an all-time low. And for Bischoff to come out and say, you should have done that, that's a huge thing for me. I think he should have came out and done that. That would have been a huge thing. And I agree with you. I think Triple H is starstruck by the Indie Darlings. I think that Cody Rhodes is a great example. Paved the road. Well, he didn't really pave the road. They've been around for a long time. Yeah. But he showed everyone, goes, hey, you don't need to work for WWE to make money.
Yeah.
You can do this on your own. You can do your own bookings. Like ACH said in his interview. Yeah. I want to be able to do my own bookings. I want to be able to control where I go. Some people like that. Some people want to be a journeyman. That's their own business.
And Colt is golden at that too.
Colt,
making his own business.
Or you mean Scotty Goldman?
No. I liked Scotty Goldman himself.
I mean, overall, do I think Colt is a great wrestler? No. I think he is a very entertaining wrestler. When I mean great, I'm putting him up against like guys like Kevin Owens and stuff like that. He's put them over in the past. I know. But, or even like Ricochet. Amazing wrestler. Mm-hmm. Kenny Omega. Those are great wrestlers. Colt is an entertaining wrestler. And he understands that, one, he's getting up in his age, so he can't be doing this all the time. And two, he's more leaning towards the comedic value of the wrestling. Yeah. Which WWE has no inhibition to do. They just like, we don't need to do it. But then when you start looking at where their angles are going on Raw right now, and I'm going to say this, I have not watched an episode of Raw or SmackDown probably since before Great Balls of Fire. I'm reading it. Yeah. There's no storylines to me that are blowing my mind right now. None.
No, there's nothing that's making me tune in either. I'm reading it, and as I think I said last week, if something does pique my interest, if a segment piques my interest, I look for it on YouTube because they're putting up the segments.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing that, and we can talk about, if you like Raw, really nothing happened there except for the fact they're still teasing the Shield reunion.
Yep.
Which is good for Roman Reigns right now. I don't think that he should wear a strap for a very long time. He's going to get his WrestleMania match with Lesnar. Everyone knows that's going to happen. But in the meantime, don't have him chase after Lesnar or whatever. Have them do a Shield reunion. They need a good faction, which we talked about last week. They need a good faction. Bring the Shield back. But then my question to you is, how did you feel about how they, I don't want to say screwed over or fucked over the Miz Taraj? Or do you not know?
Well, what do you mean by kind of eliminating
they
Bo
kind of cut
and
them out.
Kurt and bringing in the
makes
bar?
sense because Cesaro and Sheamus are still hot as heels. It makes sense. But you kind of have to have some sense of, I feel bad for Bo Dallas, and because they're finally getting a relevant character, and maybe just a back-screen character, but they're still relevant to the Miz Taraj.
I've been disappointed for Bo and Kurt for a long time. I've liked both of them, and they kind of give them a little push here, a little push there, a little push here.
Mm-hmm.
Put the IC title on Curtis Axel. Great. Bo Dallas came back with a bad attitude, and I can't remember what his sign said.
He should just move into the Wyatt family. Just go there.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, there's nothing wrong with having brothers work together. It has worked so many times over the years.
Well, okay. Let's segue that a little bit, because that is something I want to talk to you about.
What's that?
Is Bray Wyatt, Sister Abigail.
Bray Wyatt is Sister Abigail, so he's cross-dressing for the next pay-per-view.
And that's what I've heard.
That's the whole thing.
And I think it's a crapshoot, and
it's fucking stupid.
I don't know if it's going to be stupid. Let's see what happens.
But it goes back to the whole...
They have to do something with him.
They have to do something with both him and Balor. I think Balor is going to get a title shot against Lesnar by the Royal Rumble. I just don't think right now... It's funny because they're trying to find a way to make them both relevant, both have a good storyline, but they're not doing good at it. Like, I need to go into my inner Sister Abigail, so you're going to be cross-dressing, sir. I mean, why not make it an actual on-screen character?
I would prefer that.
Why not? Rebuild the Wyatt family. Make them a force to be reckoned. You're not going to get Strowman. But that's another good storyline. Rebuild the Wyatt family, and then when Strowman finally takes the strap, because we all know he's due, then you can have that whole, you were for me, you were behind me, what are you doing? And then Strowman just decimates everybody.
Yeah. But I would prefer that someone...
But who?
I
read something about Asuka being in then, and I laughed hysterically. I mean, she would be such a horrible piece.
I heard something about Paige. I think that'd be a good way to bring her back. I think it'd be an interesting way to bring her back.
That. She is so unreliable in a raging dumpster fire.
I can't think of her first name, but Bray's sister. She's a worker.
I heard that too. I actually read that article. There's an actual photo floating around of Bray standing out. It's kind of like a side shot. And he's doing like his arms wide open. And then there's a girl lying on like a tree or whatever in the background. Okay, that's when Bray was in NXT. Because his beard has not been that short since NXT. Yep. So that photo's clearly outdated. You know what'd be perfect?
Who?
Rosemary. From TNA.
Impact, I know who she is. Trust me, I know who she is.
Star.
She won't give me the time of day. I know who she is.
What? There's a story.
There's not a huge story. Just anytime I've ever tried to talk to her, it's a 2-word answer. No thanks.
So you're saying that Sexy Star wasn't right?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I just washed my hands of it. Yeah, exactly. I don't agree with what Sexy Star did, but at the same time, I have I should say, because there's a lot of people who do support Rosemary.
Here's someone else.
People that I know, who I trained with, who I'm close with, who say Rosemary's,
baby,
great person, great attitude, very, very easy to get along with.
Mm-hmm.
Her and I just have never gotten along. I'm not going to say anything
It's
bad about
not
her. It's just
like
her and I have
they-
never gotten along.
It's not like they don't have a giant female roster to choose from here. They got all those people from the Mae Young Invitational.
Yeah. Mae
Even
Young
that
Classic.
crazy freaking German chick.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. I'm sorry I forgot your name. But I mean, she lost in the opening. But I mean, dude, like she would be such a beast,
No,
like
there
a
are-
new age China.
There are tons of options, yes.
Tessa Blanchard's looking for something to do.
Tessa Blanchard.
I mean, you got, but I honestly think repackaging Paige would be a horrible idea right now because right now I don't think there's no faith in WWE with her right now. I think they're going to start her off slow. They're going to start giving her some mid card matches here and there, some tags, and they're going to see if Alberto Del Rio burns down the fucking bridge for her.
Until I saw her name being thrown into the NXT 4-way for the women's title, I thought it might have been a way to bring Nikki Cross up to the main roster.
Nikki Cross would be another good one. That's AJ thinks the world of Nikki Cross.
Oh, so do I. Both personally and professionally, I think the world.
But who's the other girl there? I'll remember her name for the life of me. It's killing me. She's covered in tattoos as well.
Mercedes Martinez?
No.
No, she doesn't really. She's not really covered in
She's
tattoos.
the one that got her nose broken during like an NXT show and they stopped the match.
Oh,
And
I'm never going to come up with her name, no.
No, but AJ thinks the world of her because she's another indie darling.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nikki Cross, as much as I would love her to come up and be that character, Sanity works.
Yeah.
Unless they turn Sanity into a complete Wyatt family situation, I see no need to move it. Leave them as it is.
No. I just thought like it would be good.
She's fucking batshit crazy and she's fucking hot and I think she's amazing.
You think she's what?
I think she's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Especially when I saw, you know what? I still don't think she should have lost to Ember Moon. I just don't think the world of Ember Moon. I don't know why people do. I think her finishing move is fucking not safe. She ripped off Steve Austin, which ripped off so many other people. Remember with the Disco Inferno? Remember his finisher? Was it the Chart
Busters.
Which was the Stone Cold Stunner.
But I think Austin had that one first. But
I really don't know.
I don't know.
I really don't know.
Anyway, so you were all excited when I got here, when I got to the studio, because War Games is coming.
War Games, and it's funny because now I feel like we have certain WWE executives listening, like War Games. Ooh,
yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure we're the inspiration.
Damn it, I want Fall Brawl.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they're going to have a big pumpkin, and we're going to have Halloween Havoc.
Do not diss Halloween Havoc. That was like my
no.
favorite
But we talked about it last
pay-per-view.
week. How they should have themes, and you were talking about like the big fucking pumpkin.
It's iconic.
Oh, I know. But I used to think that too. Okay, in my early days of wrestling, we in the UWA, it just seemed a lot of the people that we were bringing in were going to WWE.
Yeah.
We advertised Gangrel 3 days before he signed a WWE contract.
That went well.
Show. Yeah, that went well. The Original Sin. We were bringing him in.
I don't remember the Original Sin.
In WWE, he was Kazarni.
No.
They didn't. Anyway, look up the Original Sin. But
Okay.
what else?
Oh.
When Abyss was going through the whole that they were going to sign him.
They wanted him to do a dream match with Taker or something.
Yeah,
like that.
they wanted him to do something with that. But for the longest time, it just seemed over spans of a lot of the people we were using were going up to WWE. So my early wrestling thoughts are just like, oh, fuck, we're just feeding all this.
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like the new age ECW. You're just kind of feeding them.
Exactly. But now here you are, just like the executives are listening to our podcast.
Why not? I actually have great ideas for creative.
I know you do.
And that's what's scary is that if I ever was a writer for a Fed, that shit would be fucked up. I admit that. I won't tell people how to choreograph their matches. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm like, here's the storyline. You're being attacked by vampires. Figure it out.
Anyway, War Games.
War Games.
War Games.
Oh my God.
I was excited, then I was disappointed.
Why?
Because they did the 3-way War Games before. Now, given WWE didn't have control over it or didn't have say over it, but they did the 3-way War Games before, and I didn't like it. The concept just didn't really work for me. I would rather it was one team versus another team. So I'm excited that War Games is coming,
Right.
but I don't know. I'll have to wait and see if maybe they can Asian it differently, and the three teams will surprise me.
Well,
what are you looking up here?
I'm looking up the War Games thing. 2-ring War Games. It's funny because the last time WCW had a War Games, it ended British Bulldog's career. Because it was in War Games that he took that back body drop into the trap door that they did, that Ultimate Warrior was coming out of.
Oh, okay.
When they did that stupid angle with Hogan.
Yeah.
Which was actually this photo. And there was like a trap door here.
Yep.
They didn't tell Bulldog it was there, and that's fucked up his back. And well, it didn't end his career. It just helped his pill popping along. But kind of feel bad for that. I always felt bad for that.
So are you excited about War Games?
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I don't know. It just feels like they're throwing it in NXT just to see if it's gonna float. That's all it is.
Kind of like the Shark Cage.
Oh God! If I ever have to see Enzo Amore, oh, there we go. There's a topic. So WWE realizes their third hour on Raw is not profitable because everyone's already like, "Fuck," and the insanity. So they put Enzo on in the third hour because he's the closing segment to draw, which is funny to me because wasn't he being shown the door soon?
Supposedly, yeah.
Supposedly,
yeah.
And I just don't know. Well, they gave him the title, obviously, because he's got the merch sales. Fine. Good for him. But now they brought in, who they call up?
Kalisto.
Kalisto.
They didn't call him up, but they brought him back.
What was he doing?
I think he was taking some time off for whatever reason.
But how long is this going to last now? That's the question now, because Kalisto was never a good draw. Maybe when he did was it the Super Dragons?
Lucha Dragons
or some shit like that, and he had El Torito there for one point. No, he was
you're thinking of the
Matador thing?
El Matadors,
or the
Los Matadors.
My God, WWE, get your shit together.
No, Kalisto, I don't think has been the draw that they were hoping. He was supposed to be the new Rey Mysterio, and I don't think he did that. But I think I think there's enough interest behind him that at least it's something. They show that I can't say what his finishing move is called, but they show the video of him doing that to, I believe it's one of the Usos, where he does it in a ladder match, and he does it off one side of the ladder to the other side. He has got one of the Usos, and they both go through a ladder.
Ugh.
And show that video a few times. Like, okay, WWE is very good at that. They're very good at reminding us of why we should care about someone. And hey, remember when he did this? Like, oh yeah, fuck, I remember when he did that.
I remember when he got paralyzed. It was fun times.
Oh yeah. So, but as I said last week, who are they going to bring in? They're going to have to bring someone in because they're making a point of saying, I don't have anyone to face. Oh well, here's Kalisto. I was hoping it was going to be someone new.
The man of 1,000 holds, Dean Malenko.
Even Malenko.
Malenko's not doing good.
No, he's not doing good. But I would have loved to have seen, the rest of the Cruiserweight division kicked your ass. I'm going to come down here and teach you a lesson. And then Enzo, slap him around a little bit and then hey, old man, nice try.
Well, they really tried to get Rey Mysterio. The problem with Rey Mysterio is that he's too expensive. From what I read, he wants $10,000 a match.
No.
Come on. Ray, you may have bulked up a little bit. I don't think you're worth $10K a match. So sorry, buddy.
I don't know.
His progression slowed down well before he left WWE. He stopped doing a lot of things he was known for. He really slowed it down because, he can't do it anymore. Fine, I get that. Excuse me. But I just think that's kind of like when I found out Ryback wanted $5,000 an indie show, and I just couldn't stop laughing because the guy's just a fucking nightmare to begin with. So, anyways, I think we should take a quick break.
All right,
break. We're already at 34 minutes.
Are we?
Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Arnold Braunschweiger, and I've been asked to tell you about this fantastic new recording from the guys at AM Audio Media. It's called Doctor Who Dark Journey Series 2. Did you know that I was in the running to be the next Doctor Who, but I couldn't fit through the door at the TARDIS. It may be bigger on the inside, but I'm bigger on the outside. Timey-wimey, Timey-wimpy. Rose, Nikki, get to the TARDIS. You call yourself the Silence. You'll sing like a fireboy when I finish with you. Get the hell out of my time stream. You will upgrade or you will be deleted. I've succeeded at all my careers, all my goals. All of them. I'm a 3-time world champion. You'll need an upgrade. Cyberman. Exterminate. Haha. Exterminate. You're exterminated, motherfucker. Hope you left enough room for my sonic screwdriver, because I'm gonna ram it up ya! You're exterminated, motherfucker. Go to Warp 5, faces on stun, raise the sheep! What do you mean this is not Doctor Who? I saw it on television. Doctor Who Dark Journey Series 2. After you listen to episode 1, I guarantee you'll be back.
I think it's hilarious that Lita cheated on Matt Hardy, okay, with Edge. And then she was paid back in spades from CM Punk because he cheated on her with AJ Lee.
Karma.
Ooh.
Not Awesome Kong karma, but...
I think it's funny because AJ Lee is fucking way hotter than Lita, in my opinion, and way better.
Not mine.
I've
never...
CM Punk. Phil,
never had a thing for
man.
AJ. Never had a thing for AJ.
Really?
Never.
I know it's sad. I've never seen a single match she was in. Not a single one. Because that was during my time period that I wasn't watching wrestling whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whatever.
Usually I like the girl next door, the unenhanced, that hasn't had a boob job, and
Well,
usually I like that, but for some reason she's never really...
I don't know. Like, I mean...
I'm not saying she's not attractive. I'm just saying I never looked at her and just like, wow.
I think Trish Stratus looks 10 times better with her implants out.
Yeah,
which is current now, and from what I hear, she's actually a sweetheart about a lot of things. But anyways, we're back. Obviously, talking about women. Talking about women. Of course.
Talking about women.
So you brought a magazine.
Well, do you want to talk about this, or you want to talk about the pay-per-view first?
All right, let's get the pay-per-view over.
Let's get the pay-per-view out of the way.
Because you know what? It's going to get me constipated. So
okay.
I am going to watch it, though. I am going to watch Hell in a Cell in the hopes. What would make Hell in a Cell better?
Well, hold on. Time out. You're going to watch it live?
I'm probably going to watch it live.
You're probably going to watch it live?
I had nothing else better to do.
So
I'm going to go for dinner at my parents' for Thanksgiving.
Is there a sob story for Thanksgiving? Like, why you're watching a pay-per-view?
Because I have no friends.
I'm your friend.
You can come over. You're always
welcome
over.
I have a family Thanksgiving.
Just be like, you're sitting there, all right, it's 6:55.
Gotta go, yeah.
Gotta go.
Carve it and let's go.
Throw that turkey out on the curb and let's go.
Anyway, so, yeah, there's nothing really, as I was telling you before we started, like, oh, hey, I'm thinking there's a pay-per-view, because I was thinking, there's a payper-view, it's Thanksgiving, why are they holding a pay-per-view on Thanksgiving? But then I realized, wait, it's not their Thanksgiving. But I stopped and thought, oh, well, what's the title match? And I had to sit there, and it took me about 5 seconds.
It's another Shinsuke versus Jinder
Mahal.
Mahal.
It took me about 5 seconds to even remember that Jinder is the champion. It took me about 5 seconds to realize, oh, wait, Jinder's the champion. So who's Jinder working? I'm thinking, oh, wait, Shinsuke. And so nothing is jumping out. Obviously, I know about the Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, because they've really been pushing that. Not that they haven't been pushing Mahal and Nakamura, but
like a feud that no one is invested in whatsoever.
No,
everyone's already left.
Yeah.
I think, of course, it's not pulling up the fucking card. It irritates me because there's potential in this card that no one gives a shit about. And that's going to play mute. Just in time. As an example, Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin versus the Hype Brothers in the kickoff show. Who gives a fuck? because you got Zack Ryder, who doesn't want to be a tag team anymore.
Yeah.
He's making it obvious. They're trying to bring back the world's greatest tag team, and I have nothing wrong with Chad Gable. I think he's a great wrestler. Same with, obviously, Shelton Benjamin. But there's nothing there for me. There's no build-up. It's just, here you guys go. Enjoy the match.
Well, at first I thought some of the facials that Shelton Benjamin was giving that it was going to turn into, like, I don't want this puppy dog nipping at my heels. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Kurt, I did this as a favor to you, you know, but enough's enough. Like, I didn't come here to babysit.
Absolutely.
But then the facials kind of went away.
Mm.
So it's...
And then you have another match where there's, I'm not going to say there's no build-up, no one cares, is your Orton versus Rusev. Who cares? This should have been wrapped up the last pay-per-view when it was an 8-second match. Well, sorry, it was like a 5-minute match. 4 minutes and 52 seconds of Rusev beating the shit out of Orton outside the ring, and then Orton landing an RKO and going home for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the questions I have. And then you have, of course, I like this match, just because Bobby Roode's in it.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. So Dolph Ziggler, creatively, is going nowhere. He's just mocking people now. And to end the tyranny, which Bobby Roode has to win this fight. If he loses this match, that hurts his credibility big time.
I can't remember who said it, but someone. This is basically a match. Like, what's the feud or what's the story behind it? Entrances. We're fighting about entrances.
WWE creative, it's okay to stop being lazy today.
Like, Dolph Ziggler tells Bobby Roode, "Your entrance sucks." And then Bobby Roode says, "No, I think it's pretty cool. Let's fight." We're fighting over entrances.
And then, followed by the women's match, Natalya versus Charlotte Flair. We've already seen this.
Yeah, we have.
It's on NXT.
Yep.
And it was a great match in NXT because you had Brett in one corner, you had Rick in the other. Mm-hmm. You know? It's just, like, you have, like, what's going on with, what's her fucking name? The last kicker.
Becky Lynch.
She working or is she a flight attendant again?
No, she's still...
What's she doing? Around. Like, I mean, from my recall, and I wasn't fully watching wrestling at the time, is that she was like a contender, and I remember a lot of people on Facebook going on, "Oh, she's amazing," blah, blah, blah. I seen her wrestle once. She was all right. But, I mean, where's she now? She's in, like, women's purgatory. That's the best way to put it, because that's where all the women wrestlers go during a pay-per-view is purgatory.
Yeah, during a pay-per-view,
except for the two that are wrestling.
Yeah, but you can't... the women's division has always been kind of tough. Like, they tried putting 2 or 3 women's matches on a pay-per-view for a while there. I don't know how it went over, really.
Well, I think what they should do is bring in some type of women's tag belt, as an example. You know what they should bring in? And I didn't think I would like it. Lucha Underground did it. The trios belts.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, that's just another title they could use to really beef up their cards. Because really, honestly, Natalya should win this match. Because this is Natalya's swan song. She's pretty much on her way out. She's pretty much the elder stateswoman, is what I read earlier. She's pretty much...
Yeah, her and Mickie James are probably the elder stateswoman.
You know, how much time does she have left? Obviously, she wants to finally settle down, have kids with Tyson Kidd, blah, 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 blah. And they're finally giving her a legitimate title run, full length.
Yeah.
And how long is this going to go for? Who knows? Mind you, it hurts Charlotte, her not having the belt, because Charlotte is probably the best wrestler probably in the women's division, period.
I don't know.
You don't know? Really?
I'm a huge supporter of women's wrestling. I'm a huge Shimmer fan. I'm a huge Shine fan.
I don't mind women's wrestling. It feels like they just look at the pay-per-view card and go, we got to have a women's match on there. You, go. It doesn't make no relevance. And then from what I read is that who's going to win? Carmella. She's going to sneak out, cash it, and that was innovative. I'll give them points for that, to have a very own women's Money in the Bank match. Mm-hmm. Good for them. That was great. But now it's just floundering.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. But someone made a suggestion, I kind of hummed and hawed about it, that if there was a women's show, kind of like 205 Live.
Right.
Or maybe not NXT, but a women's show.
But that would be a network only exclusive.
Yeah, have it as a network only exclusive thing. Unify.
So here's the thing, though, is that WWE has the same reservations about women as UFC. UFC, for the longest time, Dana White was quoted as saying that women's MMA will never be anything.
Yeah.
And along came Ronda Rousey and changed the entire fucking thing. And now you got what they're hopefully going to have, the best women's fight to ever exist. Chris Cyborg, which is the most scary woman I've ever seen in my life, that I feel like we should check for a dick. And Holly Holm, the one that actually devastated Ronda Rousey. It's relevant. Like, I actually enjoy watching women fights in MMA because they finally have a foothold. But WWE, who was leading the charge for all these years, is going, I don't know. Like, they did put them on last, Sasha and Charlotte in that Hell in a Cell match. But I feel like they looked at it and said, it did all right. I don't think we're going to ever do it again.
They kind of soured on it, or at some point someone said, okay, experiment's over.
Bring back some more specialty matches. Let them go. Let them go. And then you have, not the first, but the first in a long time, Hell in a Cell tag team match for the belts.
Yep.
Uso should win. I don't think the New Day is a credible tag team anymore. I think their hokiness is really drawn up on me. I just cannot get into them anymore.
Well, they took things seriously on SmackDown. They showed a serious side.
How serious?
Well, not like they still swiveled the hips, and they played the trombone a little bit, but they were a little more serious going into this. But I agree with you. I think New Day. I've always had a theory. If somebody can draw without a belt, then they shouldn't have a belt. It's the Jake Roberts effect.
Roddy Piper as well.
Roddy Piper, Jake Roberts, guys like that. They draw. They don't need a belt. New Day is selling merch. New Day.
They don't need a belt. They should just be more of a comedic act. Kind of like, look at Breezango. Great example. Are they going to hold the title in the near future?
No.
But their Fashion Police segments on SmackDown is what people look forward to because of how ridiculous and stupid they are.
Yep.
But when you look at the New Day, when they're like before the brand split, I'm like, okay. I mean, they're funny. They have their little cereal now, ice cream. But it just gets boring. It's just, why is this still happening? So then we move on, and this is one I already disagree with from what I'm reading on the website. AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. They're picking Corbin to win. Corbin needs the win to be relevant because he fucked himself bad when he did that little tweet or two. But if AJ Styles drops the belt, that looks bad on AJ, in my eyes, because AJ is AJ.
Yeah, AJ is AJ. I think AJ deserves to be up in the... I don't take credit for this. I'll always give credit to when people say stuff. I don't know who said it, but the two programs should be switched. Jinder and Shinsuke should be fighting for the U.S. title.
Yeah.
And, okay, AJ and Baron maybe for the heavyweight title. But AJ should be in the heavyweight title picture.
And that's what I think what they're doing. And that could be one path, is that this is probably it between Jinder and Shinsuke.
Yeah.
So I think AJ's going to drop the belt, and then they're going to swap. Then it's going to be Shinsuke chasing after Corbin, and then AJ chasing after Jinder. Jinder's not dropping the belt.
No.
The Indian tour has been signed. It's done. Yeah. It's happening. So it'd be ridiculous at this point for him to drop the belt. So moving into that match, and AJ Styles should win, but I'm still going to pick Corbin as much as I don't want to, because when I thought about doing that swap, that makes a lot of sense now. But Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke, who is honestly invested in this match?
No one. As I said, it took me time to remember who even
this
the
is
champion
the match
is.
You go take a shit or have a smoke.
Yeah. I like Jinder, but I don't like Jinder as I don't see him. I shouldn't say I don't like him as world champion, but I just don't see him as world champion.
He's the longest trend. He's held the title longer than all 3 Roman Reigns title reigns combined.
Yeah.
That is horrible. Sorry, Roman. No one still likes you. But I mean, but the problem
I like Roman Reigns.
You know,
I've said
I think
that.
Jinder
I
Mahal.
like Roman
I think
Reigns.
Jinder Mahal's character would got along over more during the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yes, it would have.
Because you know what? When he made those Mr. Miyagi jokes and shit like that, people wouldn't have been running to the internet and going, "Oh, he's being racist." But they would have just laughed or went, "Oh my god, like this shit's deep." Like those are the old ways to get heat. Was to pick on people in the most hateful ways, and now he does it. Everyone's got sand in their vagina. Time to move on. The match that everyone is watching this card for: the Boy Wonder, Mr. Money, Shane O'Mac versus Kevin Owens. The match will be amazing if they just go.
Yeah.
There is no like, okay, you guys, someone's going to get busted open. I'm sorry.
Oh,
if no one believes during this match, I'm calling bullshit. Because there's just no way that they're building this up to be a heated rivalry in every way, shape, and form. Even Vinnie Mac come out and took a headbutt to really put the passion behind and the raw emotion behind it, just for it to be a simple Kevin's going to win it. I firmly believe Kevin's going to win this match.
Oh, yeah.
Because Shane is going to jump off the top of the cage. He's going to go through the table. He's going to knock himself the fuck out. And then Kevin's just going to do the typical rollover. 1, 2, 3. That's my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is.
No, I think Kevin Owens... I don't want to say needs to win. Because if he loses, where do you go from there?
From what I heard, he's going to Raw. Suddenly, I read that at some point this week, they're saying, the SmackDown superstar is going over to Raw, and it's a picture of Kevin Owens. I'm like, but why do you... But the problem is that both rosters are so bursting with talent. Why move Kevin Owens unless they're going to move someone from Raw to SmackDown?
I don't know.
I think that'd be, if they did do that, I say kick Balor over to SmackDown. Fresh rivalries. He can finally have the strap and it'll be believable. The problem is people don't believe Finn Balor can beat Brock Lesnar because of sheer size. And then what if it's not Lesnar? What if it's Strowman? Who's going to buy it? Yeah. The Demon's going to show up?
Before I forget, and we'll get back to the pay-per-view, have you seen the video where it's Jinder Mahal, Big E,
nope,
and Strowman?
No.
You look it up. People who are listening, look it up. They are working out. There's an internet show, and there's this big jacked motherfucking guy, and I guess he has people, come into my fucking gym and you prove that you're a fucking man. And so Jinder, Big E, and Strowman, they come in, and Jinder, I don't want to say he struggles.
He's not nearly as big as the other two guys.
Well, no, but it's not. This isn't so much how much weight you're lifting as how much it's your endurance. And I don't want to say Jinder struggles because he gets through it. I give him all the credit, and he's pushed hard. He gets through it. Big E does okay, but this big jacked motherfucker is looking at Braun Strowman, and he's just sitting there like, fuck, man,
and Strowman used to be a strongman.
Oh yeah, but Strowman's just throwing this shit back, they're putting weight on. He's throwing this shit around, and this big jacked motherfucker who, you come into my gym, you prove what you can fucking do, and this guy is just fuck, man,
fuck.
And Strowman,
is that a lunar eclipse?
And Strowman is just kind of sitting there, just kind of yeah. It's kind of funny.
Big dude.
Oh, he is, but it's funny because he just is fuck, man, look at you, and he's just yeah.
God.
And then there's have you ever seen the WWE Game Night?
No.
Check out the Game Night. They're kind of fun. I like them, but I've said it before, I don't really like these things where all of a sudden everybody's had a character, especially when you're trying to push a certain character.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing a basketball shootout, and it's you have a rack that's close to the net, and you get a point for that. Then you go back to the 3-point line, and you shoot 5 basketballs, and you get points for those. And then you go to half court, and Strowman's on. Heath Slater hosts it,
Oh, God.
And Heath Slater.
He's got kids.
He introduces AJ Styles and Sasha Banks, I think.
Ugh, can't stand her.
I think she plays. And then they're sitting there and they're just like, all right, we're going to have fun. And all of a sudden Strowman walks in. And everybody's just kind of like, hi. And he just, and then it becomes Strowman's turn and he grabs the racks and he walks to center court. And he just starts taking basketballs and just heaving them at the basketball. And he's missing like a lot of them by a mile. And then they're just like,
in his world, he's getting every basket.
And and they're just like, okay, you didn't get it. And he doesn't say it, obviously, because it's WWE, like a production. But he just kind of says, I don't give a fuck. And then he walks out. So he stays in character. But as I was saying, check out the workout thing. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. But it's just one of those random things that popped up on my YouTube. But you check it out. People who are listening, check it out because it is it is fucking great. So yeah, back to the pay-per-view. I don't try to speculate, or I do speculate in my own head.
Speculate.
I do. I don't really.
Lying to?
I just don't really. I don't really outwardly speculate, but I do think that. I do think Kevin Owens needs to win because I don't see the benefit of letting Shane win. And
Shane hasn't won a match in a very, very long time, which is not because he's not good. It's that he's just doing, I want to say he's doing the right thing. There's no reason for him to win.
Well, exactly. Okay, he avenges the family.
I guess, but I mean, at the same time, though, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see as...
I just don't see putting Kevin Owens in his place as beneficial.
No, I don't see it that way either. So I think that's kind of lost. So, but I think all in all, the pay-per-view looks okay. I mean, I'll watch it if nothing else better to do. But
yeah, no, I see Shane, as you said, something happening, going off the top of the cage, hurting himself, going away, letting Daniel Bryan run the show for a little bit,
right?
And keep him away till maybe not Survivor Series, maybe keep him away till Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Shane. Everybody will they'll remember, but it'll be let's put something else in their head with Kevin Owens. Whatever program they put him in.
No one cares that Shane loses.
No,
I mean because he puts on one hell of a match, and everyone appreciates the stunts he does during the match.
But I just mean like if you keep him away till Royal Rumble, people won't be saying, well, he still hasn't avenged the family by Royal Rumble. No one's going to care. All right, so
this has caused controversy already.
This has caused controversy.
The internet has already cried.
Yes.
Number one, I agree with number one. I did watch the last Wrestle Kingdom when I think it was the rubber match with Kenny Omega, Okada. This guy is a fucking beast. He'll never be WWE, but you cannot argue with Okada. You just can't. The guy is he's close to flawless.
I'm not going to put Okada down. I've never wowed at Okada.
Obviously, you've never seen him against Kenny Omega.
I've seen the matches. I've watched his matches with Kenny Omega.
Oh.
I preferred Kenny Omega's matches with Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
I prefer those.
No.
I'm not saying that they put on bad matches, but they didn't hold my interest. Well, no, they didn't hold my interest for 45 minutes. I think
the match is too long.
Both of them are.
I understand this is Japanese strong style.
Yeah.
But I think Japanese and American culture are completely different when it comes down to wrestling. And it's...
Now, by the way, we are talking about the PWA 500.
Yeah. PWA 500, which has already been shit on by everyone because of the number 3 entrant. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
Number 2 is AJ Styles. Are you shocked about AJ Styles?
No.
I think it's hilarious that AJ Styles was in the WWE many, many, many years ago. Didn't work out.
Yep.
I think he was in something really stupid. It was Air Boom or some shit like that.
No, that was WCW.
And then he went to TNA, and then he came back, and now he's the best in the world. Like, the guy has touched every Fed at one point or another, and he puts on great matches every single time. Now, when he's in WWE, it's becoming... the 5 moves of doom scenario when you know it's coming to an end. But number 3,
Kevin Owens. We talked about Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
I'm surprised. Okay, I'm just more surprised about the top 3. Only because I don't even know if Lesnar's on the list. I don't think he is.
Well, let's just kind of skim through it.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Roman Reigns. In what world is and here's a little bit more controversy for you. I'll stir the pot. You want to know his rating in 2K18?
Sure.
95, the highest in the game.
Brock is 25.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably based on the fact that his matches are lackluster.
Yeah.
If this was Brock Lesnar in 2002,
yeah,
easily top 5.
But like he's dominant.
Who's number 5?
Who's number 5? Number 5, Kenny Omega.
I think he should be higher.
I can't disagree. Same with the AJ Styles. Is AJ Styles? I think in the last year, because this is supposed to take the last year into account,
right?
2 or 3 United States titles, WWE title. So I don't. But I kind of look at this as who has maintained their standing. Kenny Omega, as I said, him and Okada,
their matches.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't my thing. Maybe
is it because of the ring length, like the time? If the match was 25 minutes, you had a different opinion.
No, probably not.
Really,
because there was just nothing that the story that they told, like this. They told a story. Don't get me wrong.
Sure,
but the story was, I'm winning. Now I'm winning. Now I'm winning. Like it was a back and forth thing.
Sure. And
you can only go back. But for perfect example, the Minoru Suzuki match, Kenny Omega spends 20-25 minutes just trying to hurt the motherfucker. Like he gets those chances and he puts a knee into him. And just like he's trying to chop down this tree or he's trying to break this rock or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I liked that story better. Kenny Omega, I might not agree with him and Okada, like being this 5.5, 6-star match, whatever. But Kenny Omega, I don't think I've seen a bad match with him in a long time. So I agree with number 5.
Now, this one I'm going to get heat for.
Okay.
Shinsuke Nakamura is number 6. Let me tell you about Shinsuke, in my opinion. He's the Asian version of the Ultimate Warrior. The entrance is amazing. That's it. I just don't like... His matches, to me, are not appealing. I just cannot watch his match and be interested in it whatsoever. And maybe it's because he's muted being in WWE. I've never seen a match outside of WWE. Well, yeah. I did. I saw the one against Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar literally destroyed him in New Japan. But I just don't find his entrance is great. His music is perfect. The style he comes out in and the character, the personality. Perfect.
Yeah.
You get into the match oh, cool. He does a nice little running kick thing. Yay.
Yeah. I just don't think he's come up with anything really new. Like when he first came, I was like, awesome, Shinsuke Nakamura. And he came out and he did the whole back him up into the ropes and then left his head on there and kind of did the swing. Oh, that's funny.
Hey, Michael Jackson.
Yeah. And then the whole squat down and come on. Okay, oh, that's awesome. And then the put him up on the top rope, do the back somersault, come up, boom, put a knee into him. Awesome, that's a great move. But what has he done since?
I mean, I think, like I said, and I'm just saying this, he could be muted because of his time in WWE. Number 7 is Dean Ambrose, and holy shit, they don't know how to vote. This guy is the most, I'm trying to think of a good analogy.
I don't see it. I've never been a fan of Dean Ambrose.
I don't like Dean Ambrose.
Oh, I shouldn't say that. I loved Dean Ambrose when the Shield started.
Sure.
His mannerisms, the way he talked, the whole thing. But when they started doing comedy with him...
when they did those horrible segments leading up until his match with Brock Lesnar, I think it was at SummerSlam last year.
No, it was WrestleMania that he faced.
Was it whatever the Street Fight one was? And they had Roddy Piper talking to him about it, and they had Terry Funk. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then you get to the match, you're and he's complacent. He's got the title right now because, and this is just my opinion, of course, is that the tag team division needed something big to happen, and reuniting 2 of the 3 members of the Shield is huge because everyone. This is this generation's Degeneration X or this generation's NWO. This is the faction that the current generation knows is the Shield, and the bring back the Shield is huge to them. But Dean Ambrose was always the weakest link out of the 3, and I hate to say that because I really don't like Roman Reigns. But when I watch Dean Ambrose matches, I leave the room. There's nothing there that's gonna.
Yeah.
Like he does the stupidest things ever when he falls back into the ropes and he comes back with a lariat.
Yeah.
You don't get momentum off of that. Or when he runs to the turnbuckle, puts his foot up on the mid one. I'm like, who the fuck does that?
When the comedy spot that really turned me off was I think he was doing some kind of counseling, and the therapist or whatever. Well, I'm going to show you some pictures. You tell me the first word that comes into your head, and he shows them like
the ink blots or whatever.
Well, no, he shows them like different people, and then they show him Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and he goes ho, and then they show him a picture of Stephanie McMahon, and he goes ho.
Okay, that's funny.
Like it is kind of, but it's just that
not everyone's The Rock.
No.
Number 8, Samoa Joe.
I don't know why. I like Samoa Joe.
His WWE venture.
But number 8?
His NXT time was really good, but
no, we're talking the last year.
He was in NXT within the last year. He only was called up just after WrestleMania. So technically,
oh, really? Okay, you're right.
And he's got, you know what? His match against Brock Lesnar was good. His match in the Fatal 4-Way was okay. So it's not really on him. It's just,
yeah.
I mean, he's just they have so much star power that should have the title that everyone's going, why does Lesnar have the title? It can go to so many different people, but you're letting a part-timer carry it, which leads to my favorite entry, and I believe he does have a spot in the top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Not number 9, maybe number 10, but the glorious one, Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dominant. He carried, I don't want to say dominant, but he carried NXT.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Because all NXT got called up, and what do you got left?
Yep.
Bobby Roode.
And he carried NXT, and he transcended NXT.
And it's funny because I guess like we can almost call him, well, I can anyways, like a new age Steve Austin. He was the villain that got over.
Yeah.
And he got over because everyone loves his fucking entrance.
Yeah.
And it's not really, when you really break it down to ridiculousness, it's nothing great. It's just a song singing about being glorious and victorious.
Mm-hmm.
But the melody works, and he's got the attitude that carries it, and his ring presence is fantastic. When we saw him at NXT, guy didn't miss a beat.
I love Bobby. Okay, I've known Bobby for years, and I love him. Solid as a rock in the ring.
Absolutely.
But he doesn't. I don't find a wow factor. Again, I agree with the number 9, but there's no wow factor to him, and there's only so many times you can stand in the middle of the ring and go glorious.
It works.
Okay, but what he does in the ring is solid. Solid.
I'm just curious who's next. Oh, then it breaks down lower.
Yeah, then it breaks all down.
Show me that.
Anyway,
we'll
number
go to
10.
The Miz is only there because of his promos. The end. His in-ring work is mediocre at best. Is that his fault? Not really. Wrestling to him was not a first venture in his life.
No.
I'm not saying he didn't come a long way. I'm just saying that the guy knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to be a heel, and you know what? That would be the greatest shame in the world they turned him face, because I think that would be the dumbest thing in the world they can ever do to him. He could put on one hell of a promo. He can, like his bantering with Daniel Bryan and getting really deep. And we talked about this last week about, I hope they both have a general understanding.
Yeah. No, I disagree. I think The Miz has been there hasn't been any stumbles with him in the last year.
I'm not saying there's been any stumbles, but there's no, like you said, there's no wow factor to his matches.
No, there's not any wow factor, but I think he works a match wonderfully. None of his moves are really wow factor or anything overly special, but I just think he has been completely solid. His program with Cena, his things with Daniel Bryan, Intercontinental titles.
Yep. Made it relevant again.
He elevated the Intercontinental title
Made
back.
it relevant again.
Yes. So I give him all the credit in the world, and I definitely agree with that. So do you want to go into 11, or?
Let's go ahead.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you wanted to go like the next few, or if you just want to start randomly.
Well, we're over time, so let's just get up to 20.
Okay, let's get up to 20. Number 11, Neville.
Can't disagree.
Can't disagree.
Puts on solid matches. Even without the Cruiserweight title right now, he's still relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually he'll win once Enzo drops the belt to Kalisto or whatever. He's just going to grab the belt back and carry it again.
Yeah. Number 12, Tetsuya Naito. I'm not overly
familiar with
He's not someone that I've
New Japan.
I'm familiar, but I've never really went out and looked for him.
Right.
Randy Orton, number 13.
Oof, that's a disagree. He's in the 30s in my opinion. His matches are not great anymore. Like the RKO Ace Crusher, as we would say, created by Joe Laurinaitis, the RKO out of nowhere is done. I mean, I think that internet meme or fad or whatever is done. His matches are not great to watch because it's the same shit all the time. But when you hit the RKO, everyone pops. So I don't know if that's why he's 13, but I mean the RKO.
I agree. Lackluster title run. If he would have had a long title run, then
I'm going to find this video after we're done. Who does a top rope running RKO?
Yep.
Because they did like a Doomsday device.
Yeah.
And you're like, see, Randy needs to get. He won't, but. For him to make the RKO still relevant, it can't just be a quick snap done over. It's gotta like that RKO that he did to Seth Rollins from the curb stomp to the RKO, untouchable.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, beyond that, I don't see anything else.
The one he did on Evan Bourne. When Evan Bourne was going into the.
That was more Evan Bourne. I'm sorry.
No. That was totally
all
Evan Bourne.
Like Evan Bourne pulled that shit out of his ass.
But Orton still has to be there for him, like to make it
I would
look.
hope so. I mean, that would be kind of bad.
And the one he did with CM Punk. Punk was going for the
go to sleep.
No, the jump from the outside top rope. I think
he's doing
Punk did a clothesline.
Okay,
I think that's what he did. Orton got him out of that. So but
remember that used to be Diamond Dallas's gimmick.
Kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. So it's a recycled thing because he can do the diamond cutter. I think it was like 100 different ways to land a diamond cutter.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, what's next?
Number 14, Adam Cole, baby.
Not disagreeing.
No.
I think he could be higher. Could depend, in my opinion, with WWE. I don't even know what his finisher is yet in NXT.
Oh, I don't know what it is in NXT.
I'm sure it's not the one he had in PWG because that's a no.
Number 15, Bray Wyatt.
I want him there, but it goes back to creative.
Yeah.
They just... Yeah, anyways.
Number 16, Seth Rollins.
Not against it.
No.
Not
his program with Triple H. And
he had some good programs and stuff like that.
Number 17, Christopher Daniels.
The Fallen Angel.
I agree. He, again, being the cornerstone of Ring of Honor, had a short little title run. Solid every single time he's out there.
Sure.
He's still...
He's doing like what Colt Cabana's doing. He's slowly transitioning to that comedic type of wrestling, which is not bad.
Number 19, I can't remember how long it's been. Number 19 is John Cena. I think this is the first time in 12 years he hasn't been in the top 10. I agree. Well, he's been very part-time.
He's very part-time.
But you got to admit, as soon as he comes out...
You know what? I'm going to give Cena this, and I never said anything positive about Cena in my entire life, since he turned face anyways, is that he's doing the right thing now. He's putting them all over right now. Doesn't have to,
no,
but he is, so I'll give him that.
So, number 20, Kushida. I'm actually a Kushida. I
don't know Kushida.
I'm a Kushida fan, but I don't know if he's number 20.
Let's go to 25.
Now you want to go to 25?
Well, we'll round up. Go.
Okay. Well, I wanted to kind of skim through here. Okay, fine. 21, Will Ospreay.
Should be higher.
No. 22, Chris Jericho. Anytime Chris Jericho's on the screen, it's great.
He's kind of gold, yeah.
23, Katsuyori Shibata. I just call him Shibata. 24, Johnny Mundo.
WWE letting him go was such a poor idea. The guy has just gotten better. Like, he's like a fine wine with age, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you watched Lucha Underground at all.
I do.
Amazing what he does.
Yeah.
Just the only person ever, well, I'm sure there's more, but the only person that I'm aware of that transitioned parkour into wrestling, and parkour is just a joke in its own regards, but to do a lot of things he does is amazing to watch.
And number 25, Brock Lesnar, we already talked about.
Oh, so he did make it.
Yeah, he made the top 25.
I mean...
Now... Okay, go ahead.
No, go
ahead if you want to talk about it.
I just think Brock should be lower. I think, and it's because, and it's going to go back to what I said, his matches are very lackluster. They're not exciting anymore. I think the exciting parts of his matches is him getting the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, I remember the Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, for
we
sure.
We were all watching it together, and... Like, how did we put it? He earned his paycheck that night.
He did.
And that was the part that we were popping about. Holy shit, like Brock Lesnar's taking it.
Brock never takes it. I think the last time he took a beating like that was back in No Mercy in 2002 against Taker.
Yeah.
And that was just a brutal fight.
Right.
So.
Okay, so now I'm going to go...
He's flipping. He's looking.
Okay.
He's looking.
So 26... Zack Sabre Jr. 27, Eddie Edwards. 28.
Eddie Edwards no longer with TNA.
No.
He left.
28, Finn Balor. 29, Pete Dunne. I'm a huge Pete Dunne fan, by the way.
Who's going to be at Destiny.
Yes. Now,
against
number
Johnny
30.
Mundo.
Number 30. Who have we not mentioned? 29. We've gone through 29.
We haven't talked about a lot of people.
Well, I know we haven't talked about a lot of people.
That could be like Sami Zayn, or that could be almost anybody in NXT.
Or it could be the current WWE World Champion. Okay, that's what I mean.
Maybe
the current WWE World. How long has he been champion now? 4, 5, 6 months?
Longer than Roman Reigns.
And he's at number 30.
That's probably because he's kept the belt that long, and they're just like, I don't know.
Who else? See, I'll admit. I'll admit a couple things. Number one, when preparing for this podcast, I knew that the PWI 500 was going to be part of it. If not like a major part, but a part of it. So what I wanted to do was I went through the list, and I'm not putting myself over. I know a lot of these guys.
Right.
Even in passing.
Right.
So I figured, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll find someone who is excited to be, like I'm talking like more local guys.
Right.
Find someone who's excited to be in the 500.
Yeah.
Find someone who doesn't give two shits. Find someone young who is aspiring to be on the 500.
Where did Ricochet land up?
Ricochet?
Because that's kind of bullshit that he's not even in the top 30. Because he's the best pound for pound, one of the best pound for pound wrestlers.
46.
Sorry, I'm going to agree with Ricochet on that. But mind you, you got to take these things with a grain of salt. Because these are people, this is their opinions. This is not like a world vote.
No.
This is just people who feel they should be where they are.
Strowman is 34.
Strowman's all right.
Cody made 33.
That's fair.
But this is what I was saying. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find these people.
You got to find them.
I could not find anyone that was overly excited to be on the 500.
Really?
A lot of people were just like, meh, it's nice to
who?
see. I'm not going to name names.
Oh, I think I know who.
But, no, I contacted a whole lot of people on this list.
And said...
lower on the list.
Yeah, but you're like, so what do you think?
Well, I'm just like, hey, you were ranked in the 500. Does that mean something to you? Or something of that nature. It's nice to see my name in print, but it's not a huge deal. Now, I don't know if they were downplaying it, like they don't want to say, like, fuck, I'm marking out that my name's in there.
But that's out of 500, though. I mean, there's like thousands of wrestlers out there, but I mean, it goes back to what I just said. This is based off a series of a group of people's opinions that may not matter to many people. It may matter to certain wrestlers. It may not. I mean, if I was a wrestler, would I care that I was in the PWI? The first year? Absolutely. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm in the PWI.
I mark out whenever Moonshine Branded Wrestling is mentioned in here.
By the way, did you know you're on Wikipedia?
Moonshine Branded Wrestling is on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was looking something else up, and I was looking up Ontario wrestling feds, and you're listed as the owner.
Yeah, I'm listed
just
as the owner.
Matt Terry.
Am I still listed as dormant?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of.
You gotta fix that.
Yeah.
What? What?
Because
I gotta eventually defend my title. I'm just saying.
Okay, you want to get to that? You want to get to that?
It's just gonna be a quick roll up, and that's it.
Let's wrap this up by saying, last week, if you listened, I think we said it on the air that the Moonshine Branded Wrestling Championship. I have to tell you something
before. I took the belt to work.
Oh.
And I walked around with it on my shoulder, and I issued an open challenge.
Okay, this is just adding to it. Okay, so if you guys listened last week, I think we said on the air that the Moonshine where the fuck is it?
It's actually nicely placed in the living room underneath the window.
Nicely placed.
It's almost like mantle-ish.
Okay, so last week I left the Moonshine Branded Wrestling Championship belt here.
You did,
and it was just kind of a passing thing, like, oh no, hey dude, you hold on, because. I'll be honest, part of it was I look at it now and I'm disappointed because, number one, I'm not doing Moonshine Branded Wrestling. I really want to. And I don't like what happened to the belt itself.
No, you don't.
So I don't cry, but I'm upset with what happened to it.
You're sad.
So I was like, you know what? You can hold on to it. Dude, okay. For those of you, because you don't know this, people, right now we are in the Droids Canada studio. I live... 10 minute drive
10 minutes at most
from the studio to my home. I got home and there was Instagram video. Was it Instagram?
It was Instagram.
Whatever it was, Instagram video
issuing the open challenge
of Todd issuing an open challenge for the Moonshine Brander, and I looked at it and I said, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Bringing relevance to the belt. And
then, did you bring it to Hamilton?
No.
I thought you would.
No, I thought about it. But the problem is that I would have been answering too many questions about it, and I know nothing about the lineage of Moonshine Branded Wrestling, so I'll be like, yeah.
Okay, well, let's quickly go through that. The very first Moonshine Branded Wrestling champion was Warhead. Then it was Viking. Then it was Scotty O'Shea.
The hacker.
The hacker Scotty O'Shea. Then it was Joey Kings, the guy who went through the table, who got speared through the table. It was Joey Kings. Then it was Hacker Scotty O'Shea again. Then it was...
Exactly.
Mark House. And I guess now it's you.
That's it.
Forgive me if I don't throw you up.
Update your Wikipedia page as current champion. The belt needs a little bit of updating. We can fix that, but... Looks good on the shoulder. Just saying. Yeah. Look at, why are you mad? I'm bringing your belt relevance. I brought it to work. I walked around work, slapped it, open challenge.
Did anybody take you up on it?
Couple people. Did
a couple people walk up to you and say, "What the fuck is that?"
They're just like, "That's a cool belt." I'm like, "I know, I'm the reigning champion." They just looked at me and shook their head and walked away. I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm bringing it back." I'm helping promote and kind of twist Matt's arm and bringing back Moonshine Branded Wrestling. Slowly twisting. He's thinking about it. I could tell. I can see the hamster wheel spinning. He's like, I can do this. Well, but do I want to do it?
If anybody out there wants to sponsor it, then great.
Yeah, you live in a world that people don't want to give up money.
Exactly. And it's just, I put a lot of money out of my pocket into Moonshine Branded Wrestling.
Hey man, you're talking to a guy.
I know.
And trust me, if I could sponsor Moonshine Branded Wrestling, I would be all over it.
You know what? If people out there want to see Moonshine Branded Wrestling, then by all means get a hold of us. And hey, if we can build up a fan base, I'll gladly go back to Fort Erie. I'll gladly talk to the Holy Trinity Church here in Welland. Whatever. I'll gladly put Moonshine Branded Wrestling. Would I put you in as champion? No.
The interim champion. We can do like a whole story.
Interim champion.
We could do like a whole story about it and something like that. And that I actually win a match because the guy we'll do the Hulk Hogan bash it. No, was it bash it? It was Hog Wild, was it? When Jarrett laid down?
No, that was like Bash at the Beach or something.
I remember it being an outdoor pay-per-view. That's why I thought Hog Wild. But anyways, just do the whole thing, and then you get all pissed off about it and be like, what the fuck? And then I'll be like, and then I got paid off and runs away.
You know why we can't do that?
Why?
Because you just said it on the air.
Well, that's in the situation if it ever happens, of course.
And then people who are listening to this
look
now
at him.
say, I wonder if they're going to do
No
that
one
finger
can
poke of
see-
doom shit.
No one can see his face right now, but you can tell he's interested. He's thinking about it, too. That's the sad part.
I'm sucking on a Halls.
He's like,
That's
yeah,
not thinking.
you're going to let me have my one match, and then I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me. Probably. Most likely. I'll probably take a nasty bump, too, knowing my luck. You're going to go through that table.
Anyway. You got anything else you want to talk
No,
about?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great. Where's the bell?
I don't know. The belt?
The bell.
Oh, I don't know. Where is the bell?
Oh.
So, oh. All right. Well, thanks for listening to another episode of It's Time to Fight with, of course, ring announcer Matt Terry. Matt, before we go, what is the next show?
Oh, that's another thing. I couldn't believe it the other day. We were talking about it, and the next show is the final Act 8 for Alpha 1.
Where's that?
That's Hamilton, Ontario, November 26th. But that's what I mean. We did 3 shows in September, and then we're talking. I'm like, holy
That's
shit!
what's throwing me off. Because I'm like, there's got to be a show in October.
Nope. There's not
Before,
a single-
Matt, I must also mention is that before your show, we have 2 things coming up.
Okay.
November the 11th, Frightmare in the Falls. We will be there as media, and we're having our own cosplay group. And then on November the 12th, Matt himself will be ring announcing again for the Cosplay Olympics. He's excited. You could tell.
Oh, I am actually. I don't know what the Cosplay Olympics are, but
that makes 2 of us. But
yeah, I'm going to
we will
fucking
be
love
at
this.
GTA Comic-Con in Burlington, Ontario. Make sure you go to droidscanada.com, get all the information. It's already on the main page so you can see it. We're excited for it. And then we'll be going to Alpha 1 on November the 28th, you said?
26.
26. We'll be bringing some people.
Cody Rhodes, DJ Z, Keith Lee.
Oh my God, you should know this, don't you?
Oh,
get your cue cards out.
I should get my cue cards out.
Anyways, guys.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Matt will think about it, but we'll be back next
It's
week.
late.
Next Friday. You know what? Next Friday, I'll hold you to it. Remember next week.
Next week, I'll just bring the fucking poster with.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Have a good one.
See you next week.
We're out of here.
Cheers.
Hello, Comic-Con promoters. This is Danmo from Droids Canada. I just want to take a minute just to sit right there and tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air, and to give a shout out to our PR company, Heroes on Hand. Heroes on Hand specializes in connecting event promoters with a variety of talented artists, cosplayers, television and film personalities / stars from the entertainment industry. Promoters can use their diverse roster of celebrity guests from such shows as The Walking Dead, Star Trek, or my favorite, CSI Miami. And that's my jam. As well as comic book creators, cosplay artists, event MCs, and panel moderators to fulfill the needs of any event programming today. Be sure to check them out today, www.heroesonhand.com, and book your convention today.